37, we're opening the hearing on the Capes of Berlin comprehensive permit. Yep.
Open session public meetings are subject to being videotaped. Your image and voice may be recorded.
Is Mr. Rhodes here?
Yes, he stepped that way for a moment, he'll be right up.
You went in the wrong room?
Everyone has had a chance to sign in up back, have they?
Hospital shoe back on. Strange initially. Yeah. When I took
Are you talking about ours?
so it made snips. No, I did. I let him walk around the barn. He walked on classy.
Take it for a load splits. Live right now. That's your family house.
Yeah, she said she's part of the
Yeah, so what I do is I
Put
put
on a lot of weight.
sugar betadine on the doesn't matter.
Her brother's a wild kid.
And I put the last shoe or pad where he can't catch it. It's on the edge.
Okay, Mr. Rhodes or your emissary, there are a couple of things that were to be added to the map. Can you just walk us through and what we've done here?
Run through it on behalf of Mr. Rhodes, if that's all right. So as requested, Mr. Rhodes met with the Board of Selectmen at their last meeting, and that was to get the language for a primary and alternative trucking route, hours for the route, and then give the comprehensive permit the discretion to designate that route as needed. We've added that to sheet C 3.01. I emailed that over, and I hope you've received the hard copy now. It should be revised 8/27/18, bottom right corner. Looks like you got it, the right one.
Yep.
Okay, so we are, notes 13 through 17 break down the changes, and it's my understanding that these were agreeable to the Board of Selectmen. So trucking from the site will be between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., so we reduced the trucking hours. Export material is to be delivered to the Green Acres site. That remains unchanged. That's its destination all along. And then we have the primary trucking route is north on South Street, east on Route 62, south on Pleasant Street, east on River Road, north on Marlborough Road, and west on Dudley Road. So that's new. And the secondary trucking route is what was on the plan prior. That's the backup route now. That is north on South Street, east on Route 62, south on Gates Pond Road, south on Marlborough Road, west on Dudley Road. And then the final note, 17, trucking route utilized shall be as directed by the comprehensive permit. So that gives the board or their appointed authority the right to say, please use the primary or please use secondary, depending on any conditions you choose. And so that was the only change Mr. Rhodes was asked to make, and again, he met with the Board of Selectmen on August 27th to discuss those.
Anyone have any questions on the board?
Just as a note from the Board of Selectmen here, as if, presuming this is approved, would you have any objection? One of the limitations on that, or conditions on that, would be you would switch to the alternate route upon notification from the chairman of the ZBA or from the Board of Selectmen.
That's fine.
So either one could contact you. Is there anybody else that we would want to include on that?
I think it would be the Board of Selectmen because they do, yeah, they do that stuff. I think that that would be their purview to choose which route or to change the route if they thought it were an issue.
So I think that what we would do is we would put the Board of Selectmen or their designee, so they could tell the highway superintendent, they could tell
Right.
whomever they want to contact.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we could do something like
Is
that.
that okay with you guys?
Yep.
Anything else from the board? Anything else from the public? Anyone wish to ask questions? Yes, sir. Please stand and give your
Yeah,
name.
Dennis Minnick, 54 South Street. The question was, last meeting I was at, the Board of Health had some opposition for reasons of not sufficient area to take care of the septic area, and I haven't heard anything since then. Has there been any change? That's my question.
Was there a response by you to the Board of Health?
Correct.
There was.
Need the date of that?
Yeah, if you have the date, I can find it on here, but I don't think it printed out. To print out, we could give it to,
August 13th.
Is this the email you're talking about?
is it an email?
No, it's in letter format. It's actually addressed to the zoning board of appeals.
Okay. Do I have that here?
No, it was from last month, so I have a copy, but
You have a copy of that too, and you were here last month when they gave their response, correct?
I was here.
And you got a copy of that
I got a
letter?
copy of the letter, yes.
Okay,
I'm just saying, has there anything happened since then?
not to my knowledge.
yeah.
So their
That
objection
last
still
one from
holds?
the Board of Health.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't.
Their
hear you.
objection still is on the floor then, so to speak.
They stated their belief that there should be, for single-family residences, no change in the local Board of Health regulations. That's what I took from the letter. Is that what you folks took from the letter? Yes,
The
sir.
o- The only thing that I took from the letter is there wasn't sufficient area for the number of houses that were being built. That's what I heard. So I don't know about what you just said about that, but what I got from the letter was not sufficient area to deal with the septic and sewage.
They were dealing mostly with distances, and they were saying that we should not derogate from the distances that are provided in the Board of Health regulations.
And if I may say one more thing, there was a particular device they wanted to use, and that device was not allowed to be used unless there was sufficient area without using that device to be able to take care of the drainage, or the septic. That's what it said.
Okay, this is beyond me. Does someone remember what he's?
Yes, so
Well,
there's
it's
a
right here,
local,
yeah.
the local regulation requires that an IA system cannot be used unless a conventional system can be sited on the property without a variance from DEP. So again, that's a local regulation that's more stringent than Title V. The other things that are more stringent than Title V are the setbacks, which is very common. It's very common to have local regulations, to have setbacks that are more stringent. The local regulation with the requirement, the IA system requirement is not as common. But those are all local regulations.
Anything else?
So just to be clear, Title V does allow for IA systems.
no one has anything else. Is there any reason, Mr. Rhodes, we need to close this hearing by the 26th of this month? Is there any reason that you would want it extended until the 26th? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I move to close the hearing.
There's absolutely nothing that you need to give us, right?
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
Of Capes of Berlin project.
Second.
And motion's made and seconded. I'll take a roll call vote. Ginny?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, then the hearing is closed.
Will you be voting at your next meeting?
Well, we would need to vote by the 10th, and that's our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Will a draft of any changes be circulated to Mr. Rhodes' counsel?
I don't think we will have a draft until that night. I mean, we'll have some framework that we've used before, but additions, deletions, or changes will probably be made on that night, if there are any.
It doesn't have to be filed until the 15th.
Okay,
So they're meeting on the 10th, and it will be filed by the 15th.
okay,
So that gives us 3 business days after the 10th to have it filed. So we'll do what we did last time, which they'll have a decision in front of them, and then any revisions that they want made, we'll make by hand, they'll vote on that, and then the next day I will put it all together, and then Lynn will sign it. And they'll do a vote to have the chairman sign, be able to sign it.
okay.
Okay then, I think we're done for tonight.
Sounds good. Okay. Enjoy your evening.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, I'll take that as a unanimous vote. Thank you, Amy.
All right, guys, I will be back on the 10th with some documents.
Anybody want to mention?
Have a good night. Thank you.
I'll bring liquor.
Okay, this help us get through.
That's on tape.
That's okay.
Oops.
Edit. Or publish it.
Is there anything besides minutes we need to do?
Nope. Schedule next meeting.
Next meeting is the 10th, and we'll also have Boundless Adventures, which I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to file their application by next Wednesday.
The 10th is our regular scheduled meeting.
Right.
Right.
So we'll have this and then Boundless Adventures, so I need to know times.
So how do you want to do it? Do they already have this stuff? Are they going to meet at 7:30? Is that it? Did you give them?
Boundless.
No, because they haven't even filed their application yet, so they have no public hearing notice as of yet.
So you really can't put them on? No.
Well, we can decide what time, so that when
Oh.
we file,
So the closing of the hearing and filing of the whatever we gotta file.
Sounds kinda interesting. I wonder if they'll even do it
Close.
before the fall.
It's only gonna take a half an hour probably, correct?
We have to go over the verbiage for these folks, okay? We need to, see what's in, it's gonna be a multi-page document that we're gonna have to modify. So I would say we should probably allow an hour for it. We may not need an hour, but I think that, it's up to you folks, but
Are we gonna do an executive session first?
that may not be a bad idea.
Do an executive session from 7 to 7:30 and then 7:30 to 8:30 for Capes of
Well,
Berlin.
we should be able to get through the verbiage between 7 and 7:30 maybe.
No, we have to do that in open session, I believe. But
7:30 to 8.
there is no reason that we couldn't see if there's an update to what's going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we can always cancel an executive session. Anybody have an objection to putting an executive session from 7 to 7:30?
No.
And then from 7:30, let's say 8 o'clock, we
Boundless is iffy anyway, right?
No, they're definitely gonna file, they just haven't done it yet. He
They,
called me today to make sure that he does everything right this time.
yeah, tick, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Okay.
have till next Wednesday to file, and I'm totally anticipating that they will.
And then at 8 PM, we'll schedule, because we can always move it forward. We can always have them wait if we're not done. But
All
if we,
right, so 7 executive session, 7:30 Capes of Berlin, 8 o'clock Boundless Adventures.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. That's hopeful.
yeah, it's hopeful. But if we need to, we can always make it later. But if we don't schedule it until 8:30 or 9 o'clock, then we can't start it until then if we're done. Do you know what I mean? We can always.
I like the 8 o'clock. for
Okay,
Boundless
so
Adventures.
that will be Boundless Adventures, we expect.
Saying.
And we've received nothing else, right?
Well, the deadline is next Wednesday, so something else could come in, but there's nothing in the pipe that I know
Have you
about.
heard anything more on that ground-based solar thing? Have they
Oh, the
come to see
Randall
Joe?
Road, Otis?
They've been
Not that I
surveying.
know, you'd have to ask Joe. Yeah, because the Attorney General should have made their decision by August 26th.
Yeah.
Joe might know something, I don't know anything.
They've been surveying.
Why don't you take 5 seconds and ask them if you would, because I'm curious too.
Meeting, well,
He's Mr. Rhodes.
he was gonna come back, or I'll go.
Yeah, quick question, ask him.
I'm trying to think of the Randall Pizza Road.
And another picture of where it is.
Drop the cove and take a right. It's on the left.
Yeah, when,
It's the only
When-
piece in there is big enough, I think, is an Pendergast.
okay, well, we're discussing stuff that's on tape that.
Oh. Suck that thing off, will you?
Yeah,
We're
don't you
gonna take a
edit.
5-minute recess.
Okay.
No, you don't. We don't, I mean, you're welcome to stay. Do we have anything else before us, Leanne?
No, the only other thing that I found in our box, that's that other drawing was there, I think it was left there by the planning board.
This one here?
Yeah, there's just the one copy, I think it's just for the board's records, it's not anything.
This is
that's
special
coming.
permit plan Berlin, Mass, Highland Ridge Senior Residential
The
Development.
one up on Highland Street that got voted in at town meeting.
Slade.
Would anyone like to look at
That's
this?
only 6
still in the
buildings.
pipeline?
I think it's only 6 buildings per,
That's from the planning board, I think they're still before the planning board, but the planning
They are.
board met, and this came from their meeting, and they're giving the board a copy.
Anybody want to take a look at
There's
this?
Yeah.
nothing that's been
They-
filed
they
are-
before us
they are
yet.
still meeting with the planning board.
And then it comes
This
to
is
us
just
after that?
preliminary stuff.
Halfway up. Right across
You
from
thought this was gonna be right?
Balance
It's not- It's not fun at all anymore. So this is gonna end up on our plate too?
It could,
Eventually.
yeah.
There's a lot, I mean, there's a high possibility.
How many houses did you say wanted to put in?
I thought they were saying like 16.
Is that the 80 acres?
Well, I don't know.
I think so.
It's Yeah. good size. Yeah, it is good
Okay,
Piece of
well,
property.
if we have no further business other than looking at
Not that good.
a map that was sent to our bin that is being reviewed by the planning board,
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will second, that sounds good.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed will be shot at sunrise. We're adjourned.